Hey, Miles Beckler here, and in this video we're going to talk about self-publishing versus traditional publishing. Now, I've got a lot of experience in the publishing realm. My wife and I published our first book in 2012. We have published 6 books on our own, and I've published books for several clients at this point and helped a number of them reach the #1 bestseller on Amazon, which really isn't that big of a deal, but it is a noteworthy step on a path. Now, not only have I got the experience from physically doing the publishing work myself, I've gone to many trainings about publishing. One of them was over $1,000 to go learn from a publisher and a CEO of a major multi-million dollar publishing company to really understand what it takes to be successful in publishing. So I want to share what I've learned with you because our view, my wife and my view, and how we approach this has kind of adapted over the years, and there's a lot to it. There's some complexities here depending on the kinds of books that you're writing. So first and foremost, whether you go the traditional publishing route or whether you go self-publishing, the most important part is for you to have an audience. You must build your audience first. You have to have what they call in the industry a platform to sell to. First and foremost, if you're interested or even thinking about going the traditional publishing route, a publisher will not even touch your book or your manuscript unless you have hundreds of thousands of people you're connected to on your blog, your email list, your social media accounts, etc. They want to see and know and be confident that they invest their time, their energy, their resources on you, that you're going to be able to sell some books, right? If they don't think you can sell 20, 30, 50,000 books out of the box, there's no way they're going to be interested in working with you at all. But the same is also true for you self-publishing on your own. It's really important that if you're going into self-publishing and you're going to publish your own book on Kindle or Amazon, that you're able to sell your own books. The goal in the process here is not to quote unquote just publish your book and then it's done, right? That's not it. Publishing your book is the easy part. That's the simple step in the process. The challenge is in actually selling the book and marketing your book and having 50,000 people on your email list, 100,000 monthly visitors to your website, 50,000 people on your Facebook fan page, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, 15,000 people connected on your Pinterest account, a few thousand on your Instagram account, etc., etc. That's how you move books. And that's what you need to do if you're going into publishing, right? Like writing the book and putting it available on a platform for sale is not the end goal nor the end result. So then it brings up the question of, well, if I need to have a platform either way, why do I need a publisher, right? Why would I need to go the traditional publishing route? And the one big benefit that they can obviously get you is distribution relatively easily, right? So they generally have the network of stores and the network of wholesalers that they can push out 10,000, 20,000 of your books to stores across the country. But it's important to remember where we're at in the kind of retail book day and age, right? 10 years ago, everyone used to go to CD stores. There were new CD stores, used CD stores. People would go flip through used CDs looking for a used CD they bought, go listen to some of the newest CDs, and we would actually buy physical compact discs. I don't know if you remember those days. Before that, it was tapes, right? And now we don't do any of that. We just go to the iTunes store, we get it on Google Play, we get it on our Amazon account, and we're able to stream these things live. The book industry is going the exact same way. If you haven't noticed, many of the massive bookstores across the country have been or are closed at this point, right? They're gone. That method of a huge building with tons of books, that's an outdated methodology, and everyone's just getting them online. Another thing is Amazon has really pioneered the e-reader. There's a few other ones out there, but Amazon is just dominating the world with that Kindle device. And when people buy a Kindle device, what do they want to do? They want to fill it up with books. They want to feel like they've got a library on it. As I'm recording this, it's late December, Christmas is coming up. Millions and millions of people are going to get Kindles, and the first thing they're going to do when they get that thing charged up is they're going to go fill their virtual library. There's a need once they have that Kindle, they need to go fill it with books, and they might as well be filling it with your book, right? And if they do fill it with your book, you might as well, get upwards of 70% royalties. And that brings me back over to the self-publishing side. If you self-publish in the US for $2.99 to $9.99, you can get 70% royalties for every sale. Now that means on a $2.99 book, you're able to get about $2, $2.10 for every book that's sold. That's comparing to with a major publisher, when they sell your book for $17, you won't even really see much more than $1, if that at all. So the numbers work significantly in your favor, and the work you have to do, which is building a platform, is still the same either way. And this brings me to my kind of personal philosophy that really truly self-publishing is absolutely the way to go. I don't care if you're doing nonfiction, if you're doing fiction, it really offers you more control and more potential income and revenue. And you, like I said, the control, right? So you are in full control. If you write with a publisher and you go down the route with a publisher, it generally takes 14 months or more to get a book out through a publisher. And they're going to take it through a series of revisions, and their copy editors are going to ultimately, and their editor are pretty much going to ultimately have the final say on what goes out on your book based on what they think is going to work for the audience best. Now, if you're someone who has a message inside of you and you want to get it out and you want to maintain control of that, self-publishing is your option. Another really cool thing about self-publishing is the ability to get your books translated into other languages and for selling the international rights to your books. We've got books translated now in 3 different languages, and we've been picked up by international publishers who have found us sitting on the top of the Kindle store, the top of the Amazon store, and they've actually reached out and said, hey, we want to take your book, we want to translate it into our language, we want to publish it, and we want to sell it in bookstores across our country. Would you be open to this? We'll send you this much money. Here's the royalties after your advance is done. And it's kind of a no-brainer. It's like extra money. We sent them a PDF and boom, now our books are translated in multiple languages and they're being distributed throughout other countries. And we started on a self-publishing path. One noteworthy benefit is with a traditional publisher is that feeling of, or that sense of kind of accomplishment, right? When you're backed by a major publisher, it's something that people seem to be proud of. They seem to be, oh, well, I'm published by so-and-so publishing house. And to the lay person, that might hold some impact, but to me as a marketer, that just says, oh, you couldn't really figure out how to do it all yourself, so you gave away 80+% of the revenue in order for somebody to kind of handle that, and you still have to do the work. Cool, good on you. But some people do feel in their heart that it's important to be seen on that kind of a level. Maybe it's my punk rock roots, maybe it's my old school philosophy of we can do it better ourselves than the corporations can, that leads me to believe, no, we don't need to go down that route for self-fulfilling reasons. We need to get our message out to as many people as possible. And what we're able to do, we sell most of our books for 99 cents. We even have one that's forever free on Amazon. We sell them up to about $4.99. We rarely sell our books for more than $6.99. And with a traditional publisher, there's not enough meat on the bone to go that route. You know, again, it's our message is really, really important to get out. So the goal is to get the user the quickest experience with our content, and that is generally through keeping a low price. Also, having a low price triggers Amazon's algorithm. Amazon likes to display low-priced, relevant products first before the high-priced products. So ultimately, I think it's a combination of the amount of money you're going to get on every sale, plus the amount of control that you maintain for your brand, for your messaging, and for your pricing, combined with the fact that you still have to build a platform anyways. And with those 3 factors, I really do think that self-publishing is the ultimate way to go for you if you've got a book going. Now, we publish a lot of nonfiction books. That's kind of the niche we're in. There is some really, really powerful techniques for publishing fiction books that I'm not really even taking advantage of. So if you're doing fiction books and you want to learn how to set up a series of books, there's a course, there's a Kindle course I highly recommend. I'm going to link to it below this post. It's going to be a clickable link in the description below, because if you're wanting an actual individual who's published hundreds of books and makes several $1,000s a month in the publishing realm, and that's their full-time gig, if you want them to guide you and help show you the way to creating a full business based solely around publishing, this course is the way to go. And again, I'll link to it in the description of this video. I've personally gone through the course. I log in and go through the content repeatedly. It is an incredibly valuable course. The guy who runs it, he's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand, so he's got a great accent, and I totally enjoy listening to him and how simple he makes it. Because it is theoretically really simple. We just sometimes get in our own way. And he helps keep the first thing first and keep it simple so you can continue to make progress, because that's the ultimate goal. Last thing before I end this video, and it's really important for me to share this, and that is, if you are self-publishing, you need to take the time and the money to invest in a true, real editor. You have to have your book professionally edited by an editor, not your sister, not your friend, unless they literally are a paid editor for an actual publication and they do it as a job. Because your credibility is potentially at stake. And if you've got grammatical errors, if you've got punctuation errors, they can refund their books through Kindle, and getting a high refund rate can harm you, but also getting a bad name, right? Putting out subpar content is not a great idea. You do want to go through the process of having them edited. If you don't have the money for it, save up. If you don't have a gig, go get a second gig, do whatever you have to do to make sure it's edited, and then hire someone to actually lay it out for a Mobi file. Mobi is the Amazon Kindle format. It's .mobi, and having it laid out specifically for Mobi makes it a great reader experience for people on the Kindle, and it's important to keep in mind their experience, and you want to make sure you're giving them a great reader experience. When they generate that Mobi file, you can also have them generate a .pdf for CreateSpace, and CreateSpace is Amazon's print-on-demand business. So you can offer print books and you can offer Kindle books. The overall cost of getting a book that's 30,000 words edited should be a few $100s. The layout should cost even less than that on Upwork or Fiverr. You can find everyone you need to help you with this on Upwork or freelancer.com. And then you have a professional level book that becomes an asset for you. It will sit inside of the Amazon Kindle store. It can get great rankings. And once you get it published, you want to go into the KDP, that's Kindle Digital Publishing, the KDP Kindle Digital Publishing platform, and you can set up countdown promotions where you can lower the price for short periods of time. You'll get massive amounts of exposure from the Amazon store, but ultimately remember, it is also your job not just to write the book, but to build the platform, to have the audience of people interested in your book, and then to market it to them so you can drive sales for your own book. Because whether you go self-publishing route or traditional publishing, they all look to you, whether Amazon's your partner or a publisher is your partner, they're looking to you to drive sales. They'll help, but you need to get that initial sales volume going. So you got to have a blog, you got to have an email list, you got to have a social media platform, and that's exactly what we're covering on the rest of the channel. I think that Kindle works best as a front-end, low-end offer to help you connect with a wider audience. And when those wider audience individuals find your content on Kindle, you need to have a call to action in your book that will drive them back into your marketing funnel. Kindle traffic is some of the best traffic we get, and that's specifically because they've already they've paid for your product. Even though they paid Amazon, they're now a customer. 2, they've consumed your content. And if they consume your content, they get to the point where they want more, they already kind of know, like, and trust you. And when they reach your opt-in page, the odds of them opting in are much, much higher. When they see your OTO page, your one-time offer page, the odds of them purchasing are much, much higher. So, all in all, I love self-publishing. I think the Kindle platform is one of the most revolutionary things to happen to the publishing industry. The entire traditional publishing industry is backpedaling. They're digging in their heels. They don't know how to keep their businesses going, and that's because the power is now in our court. You, my friend, have all the power in the world when it comes to publishing your book, but remember, publishing the book is not the finish line. That's just turn 1, and you still got turns 2, 3, and 4 to get to before you hit that finish line, and that is marketing your book. So if you haven't already, start your blog, start publishing, get the content out, build a list while you're pushing your book out, while you're finishing your manuscript. Yes, it's a lot of work, but I can tell you from personal experience, the results and the rewards are so, so worth it. Thank you very much for your time. I ran a little bit long on this video. I do apologize about that, but I thank you for your time. I really wanted to share as much as I knew and as much as I could in this one video about publishing, since I've studied it so much and since I mean, we've sold 30, 40, I don't even know, like tens upon tens of thousands of books at this point. And it's been a great boost for our business, but it has just been a leg that's supporting our table, right? Our theoretical table that's our business, right? So it's just one of the legs that supports it all. And I recommend you go on the path, but just keep your kind of understanding of what it takes in the right place. A regular publisher, a traditional publisher is not an answer. They can potentially help, but you still need to drive your traffic, you need to drive your customers, you need to build a platform. Thanks again for the time. Leave me a thumbs up here. Click the thumbs up if you liked the video. If you have any questions about publishing at all, leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer your questions and share whatever I've learned along my path. And finally, be sure to click the subscribe button so you get my next video as it comes out. And I will see you on that next video. Thanks again.